hate most interior design trends, but even a trend snob like me can get behind these ones that are up and coming in 2025. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't even really talked about trends yet this year because I've been so anti-trends, but these ones actually are super cool. Now, before we get into today's video, I'd love it if you smash that subscribe button, but let's talk about these trends. So first up, we have asymmetric sofas. And I know you're thinking, let me click off. What is this girl talking about? That's gonna be out. I'm not talking about curved sofas, honey. I am talking about asymmetrical sofas. So sofas that have a high back one place and maybe a chaise another place. A sofa that, you know, has high backs on the sides and then like a little ottoman in the middle. Something that is really conducive to having a nice conversation and create some really great visual interest and visual pause in a space. Because maybe above that ottoman, you could have a piece of art or a beautiful sculpture and you're able to incorporate art and movement in a way that you otherwise wouldn't in a sofa. Normally a sofa is a sofa is a sofa and it just kind of is what it is. And it is a piece of furniture that is necessary, not a piece of furniture that really is beautiful if it's going to be comfortable. But I'm loving this asymmetrical sofa look. Now, why am I loving this? It's probably because of the resurgence of the conversation pit, which is trend number 2. Now, do I think most people should make conversation pits? Absolutely not, right? Most of us don't even have enough friends to warrant a conversation pit, so let's just be honest with ourselves about that, okay? Okay. That being said, I'm loving this emphasis on conversation as opposed to this emphasis on consuming media, because oh my gosh, there's nothing worse than going to hang out with everyone and then everyone scrolling TikTok on their respective phones. I actually don't know if that happens because I don't hang out with anyone besides my child, but that's what I can imagine is what's going on, or at least that's what I'm seeing on the interweb, as they say. And I love this emphasis on conversation. I also think it's also an emphasis on having furniture that's actually comfortable. And I think we kind of lost sight of that for a little bit. People are like, this furniture looks amazing. Example, Bellini sofa, right? This furniture looks really cool, but every time I stand up, my butt looks lumpy, it feels lumpy, and I, for some reason, can't feel my feet, all right? So I'm loving this emphasis on conversation and comfort. I think that's a very beautiful thing that we're seeing in 2025. And in my professional opinion, I do think that they're doing a more modern take on conversation pits. They're not only doing it in the mid-century modern, like ochre, they're doing this in really cool ways. I even saw this sofa that is like a convertible sofa. So it's a normal sofa, then you can convert it into a conversation pit. Honestly, this seems ideal also if you have kids, because you're just turning it into like a gymboree when your kids want to play and you can reassemble the sofa. Like, I think this is a 10 out of 10 idea. Now, this is a trend that I saw on TikTok, and you will see me credit a lot of people in today's video where I've just been scrolling in the middle of the night and I'm like, this person has it. They have this revolutionary idea. So we have this one, which is a picture light within the bookcase itself. Now, we see picture lights all the time. Picture lights are not new. They've been doing this for many, 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 many years, and rightfully so, because it helps anchor a piece of artwork and illuminate a space. But I love it being inset in this bookcase. It just looks luxurious. It really draws attention to your book or your artwork or whatever it is you're putting on display. And I think it's just like a fun take. We see people do this all the time with like LED light bars or puck lights, but honestly, that doesn't look as sophisticated. This looks luxe, and I love that it's encouraging reading, which is what many, many of us need to do in this day and age. The next trend that I came across that I'm just obsessed with in 2025 is this reflective wall art. Now, I love mirrors. Keeping mirrors clean is the bane of my existence. I don't want to see how bad I look when, you know, maybe I skip the gym for the next 3 weeks. I don't want to necessarily see that every time I'm walking through my house. I don't want to reflect all of the things I neglected to clean, but having reflective artwork is kind of a safe way to go about it, because we have that reflection, so it's reflecting the light, it's helping the space look larger, but you're not seeing all of the mess and debris and honestly just like the horrible view in the same way. So I love that this gives you all of the benefits of the mirror without all of the cluttered reflection that you get from a mirror. But when I did a quick search to find something similar to this, I could not find anything. So this seems like it would have to be like a DIY sort of moment, which I don't know if any of us have patience for, but I thought this was really cool and wanted this immediately. Now, this one is like really fun, and I think we see things like this on the more affordable scale, but we don't see this so much in like the luxury market, and that is a lamp with a dual purpose. And you're probably saying, what on earth does that mean? But a lamp that it's a table, a lamp that's a bookshelf. Now, we have that classic one from Walmart that everyone who's ever gone to college has ever had, that's like a shelf and has a lamp at the top. I don't mean that. It's ugly. Okay, period. And it leans like the Leaning Tower of Pisa no matter who assembles it. I don't care if you got a TaskRabbit. I don't care if the CEO of Walmart assembled it. that thing is falling over. But I love the look of this. I like that the lamp has more of a purpose. I think lamps, like, they're really beautiful and they're great, but they're so damn expensive. I wish that they would offer me something else besides just a USB port and some dim light. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this is not a trend that I would ever try, but I wanted to share it because I make content for you, not just things that I like. But I think if you guys are into the coastal vibes and you don't want it to just give Nancy Meyers, because Nancy Meyers was like the trend of the season, click here to go check out my video on how to accomplish this affordably and easily without buying any new furniture. But a lot of people want it to be even more coastal. So seashells are having the moment and people are putting seashells on their fireplaces. Claire Sullivan, she is a mutual of mine. She does incredible interior design work. She did the seashell fireplace. I think it's stunning. I wouldn't do it. I think it's absolutely stunning. She killed this design. I'm loving seashells, not just in a shadow box. Like, that's what everyone's default is. Seashell in a shadow box or seashell in potpourri, but seashell on a fireplace, seashell on a piece of furniture, maybe seashell as a side table top. I mean, your cup might fall over, but it just is such a beautiful, beautiful addition. I think that this use of like an atypical item on a side table makes so much more sense than like those ugly tiles. People are like using subway tiles now to make side tables. It just looks like a bathroom table. It just looks like you had extra tile. I know people think it looks like revolutionary. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. Therefore, I don't hate to say it because I always tell the truth. Now, another 2025 interior design trend you need to try is just getting creative with your framing. So everyone just gets like the basic black Riba frame from IKEA. And I'm with you for that because it's cheap and it's pretty high quality for the price. But we want to experiment with using wallpaper on our mats, with having artwork that extends across the entire frame, with having a really, really small piece of art maybe in the corner of the frame, and then having like a really cool mat otherwise, or a wooden mat or something like that. I just saw this video and was like obsessed with all the different framing techniques, and I was like, Kiva, you need to get it together. So when you start seeing some art framed really beautifully in my home, know that I was influenced by this trend, and rightfully so. I think we focus so much time on finding like really beautiful artwork, which obviously makes sense, but sometimes it's not really about the artwork, it's about how you display the artwork. So getting creative with framing is the way to do so. And you can do this really affordably with like truly poster board, construction paper, cheap peel and stick wallpaper. The peel and stick wallpaper they sell at Dollar Tree. There's so many really good options and I want you to take advantage of them, and I might literally go do this today. Now this is a trend I'm also trying, and that is getting rid of the coffee table and just doing oversized ottomans. I'm doing it because my kid cannot stop trying to eat my coffee table. I'm like, do you have pica? She doesn't, she's a baby. But we want something soft. Ottomans are great, but not just like a basic ottoman that's just like cream. We're doing bold leathers. We're doing bold fabrics. We're using our ottomans as a piece of artwork, and I think it is the trend to try because it's going to be timeless. And you can just make new slip covers. I was going to say go to Joann Fabrics, but can't go there. So go to your local fabric store and just make new slip covers and put them on your ottomans, and then give them a wash when someone spills stuff on it. You can even use a sheet like Ross does in that one episode of Friends when he lies and says that his sheets are from a flea market and not Pottery Barn. But don't get them from Pottery Barn because then that just wouldn't make any sense financially. Now, this trend is going to take some tact, so you might want to skip this one if you're a little bit lazy, but this trend is using armchairs that do not perfectly match and making them work in a space. I think this looks incredible. You have to make sure that the arm heights are the same so that your side table is going to work. There's so much nuance here, but I think that this looks really cool and it's breaking from the mold of having perfect symmetry and having to buy two of the same thing and only shopping at one store. I just kind of like the idea behind it. I don't actually have not one tip on how to properly execute it though. Now, something I'm really loving is like a freestanding room divider. Now, I don't think most people need room dividers. I'm not saying if you have a small space, you need a room divider. I think there are way better ways to divide a room besides a room divider. I'm actually proposing that you get these room divider if you have a lot of space and using it as a piece of art. I love art laying on the floor. I love leaning artwork. I think this is just kind of like an extension of that, especially since because you can paint a room divider. You can wallpaper room divider. I think this is a great way to get a really nice canvas that's sitting upright with ease to help break up your space. Now, this one I also really like, and it has to do with coffee tables, and it's just having a double coffee table. So the double kitchen island I think is so freaking dumb and I hate it. But the double coffee table, I think it makes sense because your coffee table should only be so big. If you haven't seen my most recent video on interior design measurements you need to know, click here to go check it out. Don't click here if it hasn't gone live yet, and this is going live first. If you don't see it, that means you need to subscribe because the video is coming. But Your coffee table should only be so big. It shouldn't like eat up your space because you need 14 to 18 inches of walking space around your coffee table and your sofa. So sometimes one person on the other side of your big old sectional cannot reach the coffee table. So having a double coffee table could be nice. Now this does require buying something that looks like seamless. You don't want something with a live edge or something that couldn't like fit together as a unit because it's just going to look very disjointed. So you have to be really particular with the type of coffee table you choose, but I really love this idea. The next trend I'm loving is pattern on pattern on pattern, but not just like whimsically, which is nice. Not for me, but it's nice. I like it in the same color family. So it's very monochromatic, only one color, but pattern on pattern on pattern. I think it just makes monochrome so much more interesting. And I think for those of us who are afraid of color, which is not me, I don't know why I group myself in with you guys, but for those of you who are afraid of color, I think this is a great way to make your home not look one note and boring while also staying within our comfort zone, because that's what we want to do. Now this one really piqued my interest because I think people are loving moody interiors, but then they get depressed, right? Okay, so we obviously don't want that, but we want a home that sparks joy for us. So I'm loving the infusion of pastels into moody rooms, right? So maybe it's very moody with our textiles and our decorative accents, but we've painted the walls a pastel color. I think it's just like very punchy and gonna be better for your mental health. It's gonna reflect light better, but it's still gonna let you have those moody vibes. It's soft moody, soft grunge, if you will. And I think this is very, very invigorating. And I think this is gonna be a lot more timeless than the moody interiors because I just don't think as many people can take it. And that light bill is way too expensive for those moody interiors. So this is gonna save you some coins. This one also isn't super new, but I'm really liking it. So I'm gonna talk about it because this is my channel. That is the color blocked wall in irregular shapes. I love movement. I love wallpaper. Wallpaper can be expensive. And I think the most trending type of wallpaper right now is color block wallpaper. So why not paint that on your wall and get really niche with like the shapes and the colors that you're using and honestly complement that color block with the furniture that you're putting in front of it. I think this is a really, really great opportunity to get creative with your selections and have fun and turn it almost into like a fun house. The next trend I'm loving is layering art on the floor in front of gallery walls and other pieces of art. I just love having art go floor to ceiling. I think it creates a lot of visual interest. And while we do need negative space in design, I think that gallery walls can get repetitive if you're not doing the right shapes, if you don't have interesting enough art. I think this is just like a really great way to mix it up and to use some of that empty space. Sometimes we just have space that feels kind of blah and we're just looking to fill it with random stuff, but art is always, always, always the way to go. And another great way people are getting creative with art is that they are jazzing up their lamps. They're jazzing up their busts, their sculptures. They're putting sunglasses on them. They're putting necklaces on them. They're just like making them modern. Like, you know, that really trending piece of like art with like it's the Mona Lisa and she's blowing a bubble. They're doing that, but with like sculpture in real life. They're just really breaking the barrier between the traditional and the contemporary. And I think it's going to be really great for blending the two interior design styles in your actual home. Plus you can use jewelry you already have and it's a great way to store it if you're otherwise losing it. The last 2025 interior design trend I'm really loving is the pillow or the coffee table book with crazy text on it. So the pillows that are like, they just say something sassy, like something totally out of pocket and you're like, what? It's like a beautifully embroidered pillow and then it just says like F you or something like that. I love it. It's like just like a great way to add a little personality. It says what we're all thinking. We're seeing this on pillows, we're seeing this on coffee table books, we're seeing this in artwork. I'm loving it. Do it. Have fun. Jonathan Adler makes some really good ones. Random Amazon brands make some. I'm also linking everything down in the description box so you can try any of these trends affordably using the links I have down below to make it easy for you, because sometimes I watch these videos and I'm like, I want to do this now. How do I do it? Well, I took care of it for you down below. But that's it for today's video. Those are some 2025 interior design trends that I am actually excited about, that would actually give a try. And I am a trend hater. My home is like the same for the past 5 years, but I might tweak it after today's video. Let me know down in the comments what trend you are excited to try. I'm really, really eager to talk to you about it down in the comments. If you liked today's video, please consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, have a beautiful day.